She is chairwoman of the influential House Financial Services Committee and has long called for President Trump's impeachment, and in the process became a favorite target of the president, especially at his rallies. Now that the possibility of impeachment is growing, California Democrat Maxine Waters certainly is not holding back. Congresswoman Waters joins us now. I'm wondering, Congresswoman, what is your reaction to the president's broadside against the impeachment inquiry today? He's very clearly, I guess, worked up about it, would be a conservative way to say it. And there's certainly no reason to think that's going to calm down anytime soon.
Well, I don't think so. I think he is really very, very upset about what is happening because he never thought that we would get to an impeachment inquiry. Don't forget, Nancy Pelosi had been against it, and she had basically told him that that was not what she was focused on, and she certainly meant that. And I think he became even more brazen in what he was doing because he felt like there never was going to be any impeachment of him. And I think he's very upset about it.
Just in terms of the timing of an impeachment inquiry or actually an impeachment, if it came to that, how important is time for the Democrats in this? I mean, are you of the school who believes this should proceed as quickly as possible, or are you, wanting it to get as many witnesses as possible, perhaps try to convince some Republicans in the Senate over time to vote for impeachment?
No, I think we have to move swiftly. I think that the telephone call that the president made to the Ukrainian president put a lot of facts on the table. We know that he made the call. We know that he asked for a favor. We know that he basically held up the appropriations for the Ukraine. There's a lot of facts in here now. And so I think it gives us the opportunity to move quickly. And I'm hopeful that our facts will be such that, the Republicans will have to fall in line on some of this. The Senate will have to, fall in line on some of this. I do believe that we can do this. I think the House can get to this by the end of the year.
In a tweet yesterday, you said that you were, quote, calling for the GOP to stop Trump's filthy talk of whistleblowers being spies and using mob language, implying they should be killed. Impeachment is not good enough for Trump. He needs to be imprisoned and placed in solitary confinement, but for now, impeachment is imperative. Is a statement like that, I mean, saying that, he needs to be imprisoned and put in solitary confinement, doesn't that hurt your cause in terms of public sentiment?
You know what? I think that it is very interesting how oftentimes, it is focused on what one of the members have to say. This president has not only undermined and denounced the press constantly, and he's dangerous. He's talked about starting or encouraging a civil war. Now, why aren't we putting more time and effort on unveiling what the president is saying, asking him, what do you mean by that? How is this going to happen? Are you dog whistling to the white supremacists? I mean, I think that's what should be talked about a lot.
Right.
Do you understand how important this is to have the president of the United States talking about a civil war, how dangerous that is? Do you know how dangerous it is for the president to talk about what they do to spies? And instead of understanding that the whistleblowers are patriotic people who care about their country, he's calling them spies and then implying that they should be killed. Right. So that's what we should be talking about. And we don't hear enough about that. The press does not bear down on him on these issues.
Well, I would encourage you to watch more CNN because, I certainly think we talk about those things a lot. I certainly covered all those things.
Not enough. I really like you, and you do a good job, but you all do not call him to task and make him accountable for what he's saying. But,
they're saying that he should be in solitary confinement. You had Speaker Pelosi today saying that the Democratic caucus telling them, saying, I'm quoting, let's bring as much dignity, as much solemnity, as much prayerfulness that is worthy of the Constitution and save whatever we feel about Trump for the election. I mean, essentially, she's saying to members of the House, you know what, let's not get over our skis on this, and let's let the process play out without essentially using that kind of language.
Well, I think that most people who have watched me over the past 2 years know that I am a responsible person who have talked about the Constitution, who has talked about the fact that this president does not respect the fact that Putin is responsible for basically bugging our electoral system, hacking into the DNC. They know that I've been serious about this. I've had the courage to stand up when nobody else would stand with me. So people know that I'm responsible and that I'm serious. And like I said, that impeachment is the imperative.
No.
That's how I ended the sentence. So that's what should be focused on. And don't forget, focus on Trump. And the fact that he's talking about a civil war. Everybody should be frightened about that. Yeah. There are these right-wing supremacists up in the hills practicing how they're going to have a war against the government of the United States. And then you have the president playing into that, dog whistling to that. That's what I want to hear the press talking about.
Chairwoman Waters, appreciate your time. Thank you.